Hey, good morning, everybody. Peter Kaima here, Coffee Talk with Kaima. It's Friday. It's 8:30, and it's beautiful out today. I mean, it is absolutely stunningly gorgeous out again. I actually took the time this morning to take the T-tops off the roof of the Jeep, just because it's just so nice out. Anyhow, I just want to say good morning to you. I'm really excited. Coffee Talk today is going to be a little bit different than normal. Normally, I come in, I spend some time putting together an agenda. I really give some effort and what it is I want to talk about. And quite frankly, the effort wasn't there today, and I have good reason for it. But I also thought maybe we'd try a few things differently. And I've got one. I ran an idea by a colleague of mine this morning that might be the most unique idea we've had ever for Coffee Talk. So for one of these upcoming episodes, stay tuned. We're going to do something I think should be fun, somewhat informative along the way, and maybe even just a little bit entertaining. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Tony, hey, listen, it's not a milkshake, but I raised my Kaima cup to you. Congratulations on all new listings. Good to see everybody. Yeah, it is an awesome day, my friend. Hey, Dana, I miss you already. So listen, what just happened? The Super Bowl just happened. And while I was cheering for the Blimpers, I could care less about either team. And while I can't stand the New England Patriots, and listen, 2 or 3 of their Super Bowls, I think, should have a big asterisk next to them. This one shouldn't. The big asterisk on this one should be the fact that Bill Belichick just painted a Mona Lisa. I mean, he was unbelievable. What he did defensively, scheme-wise, I mean, that's why he is who he is. While I'm not a fan, I was pretty impressed by that. So I'm not raising a glass to you, Bill Belichick, but I am impressed with what you just did. Anyhow, so yeah, again, beautiful out. Weather's fantastic. The tops are off the Jeep. It's going to be a wonderful next, 6 hours before it turns 45 and then 24 degrees tomorrow night. Our little Indian summer we just had, fantastic. Absolutely enjoyed that. But I won't lie. I'm one of those guys who likes a little bit of winter. I hope we get a couple more storms. I hope we get a couple good snowstorms still before the season's over. Although the taste of spring we just had is pretty fantastic. Yeah. So back to the Super Bowl. Did you win any money? Did you win your pool? How was the food? Talk to me a little bit. Let me know. Did you enjoy the Super Bowl? In my house, we do a couple of different pools. We have 5 people, and we fill in the 100 squares. And my son Cole won. Everybody puts in $5 or $4. My son Cole won 12. Camden, I think, won 6. And so that's what we did at our house. Then we do 30 questions of who wins the coin toss, who's going to kick off, who scores first. The first commercial that's a drinking commercial will be Budweiser, or it'll be beer or soda, that kind of thing. And we had a blast with that. It's always a lot of fun. Yours truly won the questions this year. I actually split. My mom was part of it. She actually split. She and I bring home the grand total of $2.50 each. So I've got a Starbucks meeting later today that ought to buy me a half a cup of coffee at Starbucks. So anyhow, tell me, how was your Super Bowl party? Jen made a keto-friendly stromboli where it didn't have any bread on it, but you think it did. It was made out of like Parmesan cheese and some other things, but man, I'll tell you what, it was outstanding. It was really, really good. Amy, hey, happy Friday to you as well. Thank you very much. And I hope you've got a cup of coffee with you. I raised my cup to you this morning. Lisa, you won $0. I want you in my pool next year. So now that football's over, I heard that when the New England Patriots landed back in Boston, when they got into Logan Airport, the vans or the buses were pulling out of Fenway at the exact same time to drive down to Florida for spring training. So one season ends, another season begins. Baseball's here now. Super excited about that. There's one sport that's kind of caught that's in between that overlaps both of those, and that's basketball. Well, I don't watch a lot of NBA basketball. Of course, we love our Tar Heels. I will say that I'm really proud of a group of kids. Myself and a bunch of my friends, we get an opportunity to coach some kids in different levels at different times. I think we're all grateful. While we complain about it sometimes, we're all grateful for that. You've heard me talk about our baseball team, our little 11U travel baseball team. But Cole, while he made his JV basketball team, he likes to play rec league basketball because that's where all of his friends are playing. So he knows kids on all the teams. And he and some of his buddies last night won the championship. So really proud of those guys. I got a chance to coach them. And I'm grateful. We had some friends come by and cheer him on. And And it was just a really nice night for him. And it was fun to just watch him have some fun on the basketball court, because sometimes it can get a little bit arduous. It can get a little, I don't know. It's so competitive that sometimes the fun is drained from it. But in the rec league, it's still just a ton of fun. There's not a lot of rules in terms of, if you want to shoot a three, for the most part, go ahead, just let one go. And so we had a lot of fun with that. So to my little basketball team, I raised my cup. Congratulations. As kids will do, he brought home his trophy, and he got a trophy for winning his conference this year as well. And the conference trophy's bigger than the championship trophy. And he was asking Dad, he's like, who made that decision? So I thought that was funny. Again, we're unscripted today. Had a couple of questions come in this week regarding real estate. So we're not going to talk about statistics this week. A lot of places to go get those. My great friend Brian Pate does one of these updates every week with lots of great real estate statistics. Certainly we try to bring you some value with a little more of a focused look on specific stats. But this week we had a couple of questions. Somebody had asked me about being a first-time home buyer. It was actually a neighbor of ours. Their son was asking me about buying his first home and what does he need to do? He'd like to buy one in 2019. And what a lot of people don't understand is your first call. Well, listen, we want you to call us. Your first call really shouldn't be to the real estate agent you're going to use. Your first call really should be to the lender that you may use. Why? Because there's no sense going out looking at houses, A, if you can't afford them, or B, let's say you've been out looking at homes with your real estate agent and you haven't talked to your lender yet, and you're looking at homes at $250,000. And then you go meet with a lender, and the lender says you can afford up to $175,000. Well, listen, whatever you can afford, you can afford. But there's a difference in homes between $175,000 and $250,000. And so when you go out and you look at homes at $250,000, it's hard then to, I don't want to use the word settle, but I can't think of a better word. It's tough to go back and look at homes at $175,000. And so for that reason, because, again, we've said this time and time again, and hear me clearly when I say this, people, both commercial and residential, by the way, buy and sell real estate based on emotion. Very few people are pragmatic enough to make it just a business decision. So start with the business decision first, figure out what it is you can afford, and then my advice to them was, then let's get together, see what the market has out there. Let's talk about what it is you want in a home and what you need in a home. Those are two different things as well. So without getting into the minutia of the actual house purchase process, if you're looking to buy a home, you know somebody that is, maybe your son or daughter, or maybe a relative, or maybe even you yourself, you're looking to buy a home and you haven't done it in a while, call your lender. And if you need a great lender, a few weeks ago, we had our lender, David Colgan and Reed Lester with Movement Mortgage on. Listen, I tell people all the time, if my mom wanted to buy a home tomorrow, if my sister wanted to buy a home tomorrow, that's who I'm putting them with. So for whatever it's worth, that's the way I would start. The second question we got was on the other side of the equation. Somebody wanting to sell their home for the first time ever. And they said, we're not ready to meet with you yet, but we just want to go ahead and get ready. And so what I tell people all the time is, take the meeting. Let me come by, or let your agent, whoever it may be, come by and talk to you about getting the house ready. And the reason for that is this. There's a lot of myth conceptions out there, right? Is that really a word? It's hard to say that, myth conceptions, about what it is you should do. Some people just take a white paintbrush and they just paint everything just builder beige or neutral or white, and that may not be what you need to do. Why? Think about what I said about 3 minutes ago. People buy and sell based on emotion. That's why HGTV is so popular. That's why that friend that you have, everybody has one of these friends whose house is like a little showcase, right? You love that house. You love those people. It's because they've created emotion in their home. And so for that reason and for that purpose, get that meeting with your agent. Let your agent come in. In our case, we've got stagers and designers that we bring in, right? And they may come in and if you're going to paint, let us help you pick the paint color. It's not going to be your house anymore. You've got to almost change your mindset. It's no longer my house. It becomes a product for sale. When you start thinking about products for sale, the thing you need to be thinking about there is giving yourself the best first impression on the market that you possibly can. No different than a Campbell's can of soup, right? I mean, they put time into those labels and all these other things. Well, think about that from your perspective. It's not about just whitewashing walls and steam cleaning carpets. It may be moving a piece of furniture here and there. It may be adding an American flag to the front of the house, a simple way to add some color. It could be as simple as this. So we tell people, don't lay down new mulch until just the day before you go live, and then wet it, because that dark mulch will show off better on camera than mulch that's been dried out by the sun for even 2 or 3 days. So just little things like that. Let your agent come by. Let him go over some of those tips of the trade. Talk about open surfaces. So we talk about these things all the time. For those of you that don't know, so I wear a blue shirt and a pair of khakis or khaki shorts every day. I can barely dress myself. So most people don't come to me for design consultation, right? That's not, typically wouldn't be my strong suit. But I'm an accredited staging professional. I took the time, the effort, and the money needed to go do that. Why? Because it's, again, going back to that foundational belief that if you're going to buy and sell based on emotion, we need to help you create that emotion. And then we supplement that by having the best stagers in the marketplace help us help you. Other little things, as an example, everybody loves knickknacks and candles and little things like that on their counters. And they look great. Being in your home, it probably feels fantastic. It's the right place to have a candle. The picture of you on my front porch is worth. Thanks, Trey. Let me go back here for a second. Lost your train of thought. Oh, so like the candles or the throw pillows or the willow tree angels or whatever it may be that you've got that's out on display. What I tell people all the time, and it works, get all that small stuff and put it away. Get everything off your counters. You want to replace things with little pocket plants or a bowl of fruit or soft towels, those kind of things. But when you take a picture, stand at the entry to your room, take a picture of your room after you think you've got your house ready for market, and don't look at it on your phone. Put it on your screen. Put it on your laptop. Put it on your home computer. Whatever it is you use on that bigger picture, and take a look at it. I bet you notice a lot of little things, especially kitchen pictures, because everybody's got these little throw rugs all over the kitchen. No, they're not buying your throw rugs. They're buying the hardwoods. They're buying the tile. Show them the hardwoods. Show them the tile. Show them the granite. They're not buying your coffee pot. If it's a toaster oven that you're not using every day and you just use it on Sundays, put it in a cabinet. Get everything off your refrigerator. I mean, there's so many things that when you start thinking about getting your house ready for market, take a few minutes, invite your real estate agent in, have a cup of coffee together. Remember, you don't have to have the house ready for he or she. You're not selling it to them. You're working together as a team to get it ready for market. So anyway, I wanted to also share with you that I'm grateful for several things today. I'm grateful for good friends. Many of you that are on here right now, I consider close friends. Many of you, we just might even be Facebook dating right now, but I've gotten to know many of you just through Facebook. Heck, that's how David and Colgan and I got married, essentially, is through Facebook dating. But the reality of it is I'm very fortunate, right? I was in 7 schools by 7th grade. I settled down in New England and was able to go from 7th grade all the way through high school with a good group of kids that I still stay in touch with today, people that mean the world to me. They're my boys, right? Then I was able to go to a really great school. I went to Western Carolina University, had a really good time to be there. And I feel fortunate because the people I met there today, if you saw yesterday, I posted a picture of me and a couple of my fraternity brothers, some of the greatest people I've met. I then have some great work families. I worked for a large corporation for a while, and for my wife, Jennifer. And we had some friends there that we still stay in touch with today, and I see their families growing up in different parts of the country. And then here in the Wake Forest or the Triangle area, I've been really fortunate, whether it be through my son's sports, whether it be through work or whatever it may be. I am, and I mean this so sincerely, I can't be more sincere when I say this, and I think about it all the time. I'm very fortunate. I'm super fortunate to have great friends like you. And so if you're in that group and you're on today, I'm grateful for you. Thank you very much for being a part of my life and influencing my kids and my family. And it means a ton to me. And my work family here, I'm very fortunate. So enough about that. I also want to mention another good friend, a guy who's become a good friend through time. You've heard me mention him before. He happens to be the bullpen catcher for the Oakland A's, which happens to be my favorite baseball team, which is ironic. He's a local guy. Went to Wakefield High School. His name's Jeremy Dowdy. We call him Coach Dowdy because he's coached my son Camden privately for catching for some time now. More importantly, he's leaving Saturday on a plane to go to spring training out in Arizona because the Oakland A's have to get there a little bit early because they're getting ready to go to Japan and play 2 games in Japan to start the season against the Seattle Mariners. I tell you all that, you probably don't even care about that part. Let me tell you about the part you probably will care about. Last night at Bella Italia on Durant Road, we hosted, our baseball team hosted Coach Dowdy, and he came and had a special message for the kids, and I won't get into all the things he shared. But they asked him how he got to have the opportunity to be a bullpen catcher. See, he played in the minor leagues and was a pretty good ball player himself, although he went to Appalachian, which killed me as a Western Carolina guy. But this is important, and I thought this was the best part of last night. He shared with them that because a couple of guys knew him, made a comment and said, yeah, this is a good guy to have. Well, he didn't really explain the story. The story is Marcus Semien and a couple of other ball players that are big-time players for the A's. When Bob Melvin, the manager, said, hey, we want a second bullpen catcher. I need to go hire somebody. Who do you guys know? His phone kept ringing from people around the league and some of his own players, and they all said, you need to go get Jeremy Dowdy. He's a difference maker. He's really good at what he does, and he's a baseball guy. And so we're fortunate enough to have him in our lives. So he leaves Saturday. Yesterday was Thursday night. He's got family. He's got friends. He's got all these people, right? He took time to come out and talk to 10 little baseball players that are 11 years old, signed a couple of autographs for them, told some wonderful stories, just really, really cool stuff. So I raise my cup, and I encourage you to do the same to Coach Dowdy. Guys, listen, that's the end of Coffee Talk this week. I told you we'd keep it short. It was unscripted. Again, if you're on here, you're important to me, and I appreciate you very much. I hope the real estate questions helped you a little bit this week. We still have our special guest, Chad Wingler, coming up as soon as we can kind of coordinate schedules and get Chad here. Fortunately, he had to cancel this week because he's got a client he's writing up a new contract with some new construction. So anyhow, y'all have a great week. We will see you next week. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy today. If you can get out today while the weather's still good, go enjoy it. Take care.